All right, Cindy, so how have you been doing this week?
Um, there.
There. I know last week we kind of ended on this resolution that you had to either stop drinking or significantly cut down on your drinking. Is that something that you still feel today is something that you want to accomplish?
Yes, I do. I definitely want to accomplish that.
Okay.
That's my desire, is to stop drinking.
Okay. How would you say on a scale of 0 to 10 you are in terms of being ready to stop doing that? So let's say 0 is you're still drinking every day and you feel like there's no way that you can possibly give that up. And let's say a 10 is I'm done drinking, like yesterday was my last drink I've ever had. Where are you, would you say, on that scale of feeling able to stop drinking?
I would say maybe 7 to 8.
Wow, that's really high. That's a good
Yes.
thing. Okay. So I know last week we kind of briefly talked about some things that led up to you making this decision. Are you able to give me some reasons why you feel like this would be a positive thing for your life?
Well, I think I would be healthier. I think that my family would be happy, because I think they are concerned for me. So I guess those are the two biggest.
Okay. How do you know that they're concerned about you?
Because they've mentioned it to me before.
Okay. So now, with them being concerned about your drinking, how do you feel like that's interfering or affecting your relationship with your family members?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer for sure. I just feel like there's definitely some friction, and there's some pullback. And I've just done some really stupid things, and I don't want to keep doing stupid things.
Okay, so friction and pullback. Do you feel like there's some like apprehensiveness between you and members of your family, or would you say that that's fair to say, or is it something else?
I would say that's pretty fair to say. Not all of my family members, but some.
Okay.
Yes.
So, let's say you were able to stop drinking completely. What do you think that your family relationships would look like if you were able to accomplish this?
Well, I am sure that they would not be perfect, but I think they would be better, because that would take away, I would think, from some of the friction that's been going on recently.
Okay.
It's been worse recently, so.
Okay. So, as far as your commitment to this lifestyle change goes, how do you feel?
Gosh, that's a good question. I am still experimenting with that. I have not been drinking that often. I've only drank maybe once or twice a week for the last couple of weeks, so I feel like it's getting better, but I think everybody wants me to just totally stop.
Okay. How do you feel about that expectation that they have?
Well, I don't know, it puts a lot of pressure on me. I want to try.
Okay. You said you've only been drinking once or twice a week. That sounds like an improvement that you've made. How often would you say it was before?
Maybe 4 to 6 nights a week.
Okay. So it sounds like you're already kind of taking steps in the direction to meet that goal. It's good. So you're a step ahead of the game. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel good about the improvement. I don't want to stop, but I think that I still think I should. So I'm kind of struggling with that.
Okay. What is it that makes you not want to stop?
Because I enjoy it. It's fun and relaxing sometimes if I don't get out of control.
Okay. So those are the
But I have a hard time stopping once I start, so it usually goes beyond what I'm planning.
Okay. So right there, you just kind of talked about the pros and cons of drinking, right? The pros are that you enjoy it, it's fun. Cons might be it's hard to stop once you've started, and sometimes you drink more than you intended. Would you be able to identify the pros and cons of stopping drinking? So let's say you stopped drinking completely. What is the upside to that?
Well, I think the upside would be that I would be healthier and it would be good for me physically. I think it would help my relationships because I wouldn't be pushing buttons like I do now, so.
Okay. What would the cons be if you were to stop drinking?
Well, I don't know. I think it would be kind of hard sometimes because I like to go out to dinner and have a glass of wine. So to think about never doing that again, that seems really huge and overwhelming to me.
Yeah, I can understand why that would be overwhelming, especially if people around you are drinking while you're out to dinner and stuff like that. So that's interesting. That being said, what do you think are some more reasonable steps maybe that you could make? Maybe not so drastic as to stopping completely, but what is something that you feel like would maybe hit those marks of the pros to stopping drinking and helping your relationships with your family members while it still seems feasible to you? Can you think of any specific goals that you would want to set or limitations to your drinking that you feel like would make it seem a little bit easier?
Well, I think if I limited myself to one glass of wine or one cocktail a couple times a week, that would probably satisfy the people around me. And I would like to try to do just moderation.
Okay. That sounds like a good plan. I mean, that sounds like something that would be reasonable. So what steps will you make to make sure that happens?
Well, I guess I could just set goals to do that. Like if I go out to dinner, limit myself to one cocktail and just not allow myself more than that.
Okay. Is that something that you want to try over the next week maybe until we see each other again and just see how it goes for you and see if it's something that you feel like is easy to do or more difficult to do or how you feel about it?
I think that sounds reasonable. I think I could do that.
Okay. Cool. So we can plan on that then. And I encourage you to maybe, even if you think of it, keeping notes in your phone or something about how you're feeling about it in the moment. Like say you go out to dinner one night and you do that, you can write a note to yourself and say it was really easy or it was really hard. And then if you want to, of course, and then you can bring those back next week and maybe we can look into that a little bit because I know it's harder to remember a week from now, what you did last week.
Right. Okay.
So that might be a good way to keep track of that, and then we can discuss that next week. Does that sound good to you?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you.